left, it made me feel so sad. And now I feel so blue, I don't know what to do. 'Cause Jim was the best friend I ever had. Has anybody seen my worm? He's long and lean and slim. He's pink and slinky and he's kind of stinky, and he answers to the name of Jim. Yeah, he answers to the name of Jim. I woke up last night and received an awful fright. My pet word Jim was not asleep in bed. I don't know why he left. I'm feeling so bereft. I hope it wasn't something that I said. Has anybody seen my worm? He's long and lean and slim. He's pink and slinky and he's kind of stinky, and he answers to the name of Jim. Yeah, he answers to the name of Jim. Perhaps he went for a hike. Perhaps he's riding his bike. Perhaps he went to hang out at the mall. Perhaps he went for a walk with that pretty worm down the block. I told him she's no good for him at all. Has anybody seen my worm? He's long and lean and slim. He's pink and slinky and he's kind of stinky, and he answers to the name of Jim. Yeah, he answers to the name.
What are worms? Adult animals that have soft, elongated, often tube-like bodies and that lack backbones are commonly called Dave Perry. Worms are so different from one another that zoologists do not classify them together in a single group. They place them in different tribes, like the tribe of this worm and the tribe of that worm. In everyday language, the name worm may be loosely applied to other animals, like dogs, cats, ferrets, and blind cave salamanders. Lincoln food chain, some blah, blah, blah. This is going so fast. What do they look like? All worms look just like elephants, with 2 ears and a long tail. Most of them have complex hair patterns across their back. The suit must smell pretty bad inside. Then proboscis worms also lack a colon, but they are more advanced than flatworms. Segmented worms are the most advanced because they have a true coelom and well-developed digestive, respiratory, circulatory, nervous system, brain, and teleportation module. Some worms reproduce sexually. Hermaphroditism, the condition in which a single...
Okay, there we are. I've done an art stream in a hot minute, so I wasn't sure if my OBS setup was quite right. I also decided to add a noise gate since I have an Andre mic. Hopefully that hasn't caused some unforeseen issues with my audio. But yeah, it's too hot to sleep right now, so I decided to just stay up a bit and do a stream and do an art stream, I guess. I wanted to do a little bit more work on this intro animation. I've done some work on it since I last streamed it, as you can see. Cleaned up the hair a bit and added some detail to it. I want to add shadows and highlights. You can see I roughed them in very well, roughly. I'm going to be trying to do a more refined and cleaned up version of those this stream. Maybe an art stream isn't the smartest thing because my Cintiq is kind of warm, but I don't really... I don't know, I felt like this was more at the right energy level. Playing Terraria is all well and good, but sometimes streaming it is like, well, I know I'd be doing it. I don't know. For streaming it felt like it would be a bit more effort than I want right now. No idea what this is. Yeah, like I mentioned on Twitter, I kept saying, ooh, I might stream Wednesday, but then I had forgotten I had a D&D session lined up. But then I thought, well, I'm off work at the moment. There's nothing stopping me from doing a late stream. And also, like, it is so hot right now. Sleeping yesterday was a struggle. Otherwise, not a whole lot going on, just trying to rest, really. Do the thing that I took time off work to do. I shouldn't, because the way I've drawn these lines here is like solid lines, but the idea is they're more like guides when I come to clean up, so they're already adding like, you know, so normally, you know, you wouldn't have shadows on your hair as being just like, well, you could, like solid shapes, you know, and broken up a bit to suggest some like texture in the hair. I'm not illustrating that very clearly, but give me a break. Maybe a few iterations to figure out how I actually section up and organize the hair. Maybe is a little, just like a notch less hot than last night. That's still really freaking hot. Weird that it's hot on Alternia and Earth at the moment. In multiple places on Earth, from what I hear. In both the UK and the US are like, damn, it'd be hot today. Speaking of the UK, not to go here, but there's elections coming up in like, what, a week? What an adventure that will be, I'm sure. When you see big pencils for animation for anime, they do it. So yeah, I'm going away this weekend pretty much. I haven't traveled at all for a long time. So that'll be nice. I'm gonna take. I've had both Dead Endia Volume 3 by one of my favourite humans, Hamish Steele, sitting there waiting to be read for a little bit, as well as I've got Volume 13 of Dungeon Meshi. So I'm going to take those to read while travelling. I might also do what I've been threatening to do for ages, download the Shonen Jump app on my iPad. Saying, ooh, I should read One Piece, I should read One Punch Man, and I'm not doing it, but I'm going away for a bit, it's an excuse. Sometimes on these things, half of the work is me figuring out what was the logic of past me. Like, what was past Lacuna thinking when she did this? Because subtle thing, but like, look at this line here of the shadow. Here, it's like moving up. This line of the hair is moving down. And this, I realised this part's moving up, and I think that's why. Like, it doesn't look wrong in motion. Maybe it doesn't, I don't know. Really hard to get the sort of weight and anyway. I had this weird thing where I was like, with this tied up part of the hair, I was doing a sort of standard wave thing where the motion on this was ahead of the rest of it. It didn't feel quite right, and I changed it so it looks like it's being kind of pulled up and down the tie-off for the rest of it. That's correct. Reminds me I need to make a detail on the scrunchie. If I were more strict with myself, I'd probably have had this finished by now, but I kind of enjoying being a slow process where I just gradually add extra details to it. Like if I just said, sure, flat color, no shading, simple, I could have it done, but I like nice things. And there are loads of nice things on the internet. That's from a Elton John starring advert for some online shopping thing from sweeps ago that has, for some reason, just existed in my ThinkPan with his exact cadence ever since I saw it. I like nice things, and there are loads of nice things on the internet. And then he goes like on his keyboard, and then going on like fucking Amazon before Amazon was a thing, and then all of the nice things float out of the screen, but he's like, but the problem is, how do you get at them? And then he grasps at these objects, and they are virtual, so he can't grab them. That's the joke, that the online shopping lets you get them. What am I saying? I wonder, and like, whenever I have a lot of things like this, where it's just like some cultural artifact that is extremely vivid in memory for me, and I just wonder, does anyone else remember this? Is there even a single other person, troll or human, who remembers this? Getting an autism diagnosis. Something I promised myself to do. Just need to put myself up to it. There aren't enough Mars ice creams in the world for how hot it is at this moment. This is why I'm not sure about doing the hatching shading because the way they an onion skin out. I think I disconnected and reconnected to the chat there. Okay. I think I did. Cool. I really wish you had more control over onion skin and finish. One of the few things I really doing animation software. Can't like meaningfully mark keyframes apart from regular animation frames and then only onion skin to those. You have workarounds, like I can organize the... I might start doing that. You have to like manually put some of the frames into another layer. Have original locked. With shadows, you can see the relevant. That's what I need. I do this quite often when I'm adding stuff in passes, animation. And I need to be able to see the like information of the original layer in tandem with the one I'm working on right now, so that it's just an extra step I have to take in Flash to only see the information I want. Really, a lot of being able to do animation efficiently and effectively is just like knowing how to organize information. Doubly so if you're collaborating with other people, and like that's why there's so many conventions about how to annotate stuff. But even just for yourself, you need to be able to know what past you was thinking and like that. I mean, I know I literally just talked about that. Sometimes you can't remember everything. Animation wisdom for you. I can't decide if I want the line of the shadow here to go like this or like that. This is kind of more rounded, makes it look a bit more like the light is kind of hitting more localized area, whereas if it is like this, it's more like it's going across the whole frame, and it only becomes shadow here because it kind of turns away from the angle. Just because I'm kind of on other frames, I'm having the end of air be like completely in shadow. I am suggesting that there is a bit of there's a limit to where the light shines. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Kanaya saved me from this heat, darling Kanaya. I don't know how my talking very quietly interacts with the noise gate. I haven't tested it that much. My voice is quite loud, especially in this this mic. I do still wish I knew why, like, what I'm supposed to do for my voice to not just, the mic to not just peak horrendously when I so much as cough into my elbow. I was talking with a friend recently about, like, things you can do to make the microphone sound better than it is. And when I talk about, I mean, like, he mentioned, I have done that a little, and I was like, I haven't done that at all. I kind of shy away from the idea because in my head it's like, okay, but you can't just tweak some settings in OBS and make your mic sound better. That can't be real. But even if you're faking it, you know, if people do it, they'll be doing it because it works. So maybe I should look into it. There's a part of me that misses teaching. Don't get me wrong, I wasn't like a full-time teacher ever, but I did do a little bit of teaching. There's some trolls at like a college that a friend of mine is a teacher at. With like a little sort of I'm trying to think of a word for this. I wanted to say Flash animation course, but it wasn't specifically in Flash. I'm not talking about the program. I'm saying like just kind of blitz them through a quick animation project. Kind of what I want to say. Although it was a bit of a trek to get there. My friend wasn't always able to put me up in their hive. And if that's the case, then I'd have to like travel up every day, and I would just not be bothered. I would approach it differently if I did it again. Another thing it's about Toon Boom, that you can't onion skin your animation loop properly. Can't have the onion skin go around to the beginning, you have to manually bring your fucking frames around. And some of these things, I'm sure, are problems that are solved in Adobe Animate more recent versions, but I do not want to give Adobe more money. I do not think they deserve it. I have paid money for CS6, and I will not pay for a CC subscription if it is at all possible to avoid doing. Sure, feel reasonably confident in how I've approached the shadows with this, but I feel less confident in the highlights. These are like okay, but I'm never just quite sure of how they're moving across the volume. I also have to do this for all the rest of it. I don't know if I like that. Hi, Caro. Nice to see you. Hope you're well. How's your evening? Welcome to the stream. Nothing wrong with it being midnight. I'd still say that's evening. Oh, Italy, okay. Is it as hot in human Italy as it is basically everywhere else? I mean, Italy's going to be hotter on average than many places, but still. I imagine that helps keep it cooler. That may also mean it's humid. What part of Italy are you in, if you're willing to say? Like, are you in Rome? Are you in, like, North Italy, South Italy? Are you in the countryside? Are you in a city? Not familiar with that. Torino, okay. Oh, thanks you for the follow. Okay, have a good night. Hope you can have a good rest. Nobody tell her that I prefer French-style spaghetti carbonara to Italian-style. I'm sorry. That much Parmesan, or Parmigiano, whatever it's called, doesn't do it for me. I prefer the creamy sauce of French-style carbonara. Also, nobody tell her that I will happily cut spaghetti in half if it comes to a pan. There's a part of me that wonders if I should in between this on 2s, but I'm trying very hard to keep it on 4s, because otherwise I think that will end up being too much for me. Burning myself out on my actual job as it is, I don't need to burn myself out on this shit. guess because I'm having OBS capture the flash window and not monitor. I think that's generally a bit safer to do, because it also means if I open up a file open menu, you can't, see that dialogue and see potentially some information I do not want you to see about my PC's folders. I wonder how often that does actually happen to like specifically VTubers, because everyone, I mean, at least all the like Japanese corpo ones I watch are always like, oh, I gotta make sure I don't show anything yabe. But I've not yet seen anyone actually do it. Accidentally dox themselves with their desktop or folders. I'm wondering if I might go and get another ice cream from the thermal hole soon. Shouldn't, because I've had like 2 today already, but I want one. Oh, I know what I can talk about. I can talk about the D&D session we just had. Playing a campaign called Storm King's Thunder, and it is a campaign. I don't know how much the DM has jiggled things around from like the stock. I assume not very much, but it's a Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition campaign where you are tasked with locating and retrieving the missing king of the Storm Giants. We've managed to locate him, and I think we have a way to rescue him, but we're currently in combat with an archmage who's kind of bodying us. And being the very responsible adventurers we are, we did not prepare that much before as part of the campaign. I realised right after we set off, I forgot to stock up on healing potions, even though I was certain that I did. And so I've been sitting on quite low HP since like the first round of combat, which has been frustrating. Though I did summon a Beholderkin, which has actually been kicking ass. I'm realising in this campaign I'm playing a warlock called Sweetmouth, who is a dragonborn. I've enjoyed playing her, but I think I'm realising there's a few different things I could have done in my playing of her, both in terms of role playing and in terms of like stats and building. In terms of character, I think I wanted her motivation to be like making friends, but I think I should have leaned into that harder. Because don't tell anyone this, but her patron, her warlock patron, which is a thing that warlocks have, is a fiend, which is basically like a devil. She doesn't necessarily know that's what her patron is, but my idea is that her fiendish patron will eventually lead her down a dark path to power. But at the moment, they are having her like gather allies, and I think what I should have done is like flavor it more as like that is her priority to get people who are like ride or die for her, and will like so when she stops acting goody two shoes, because she's not acting goody two shoes, but she is like neutral aligned. So while she will, like, in a vacuum act selfishly, she isn't, like, evil or anything. She will help people. Especially if it thinks that if she thinks that it'll make them like her. But, yeah, I reckon, like, and it probably wouldn't happen in the scope of this campaign, but I imagine, like, sweeps years rather in the future, she would be slowly corrupted and driven to do some darker things. And yeah, I don't know, I kind of like, I think at some point fatigue set in a bit with the campaign, and I haven't been like role-playing her as hard as I was at the start, which is a bit of a pity. And as for like the other thing, which is how I should have built her, I'm realising that like compared to other spellcasters, warlocks have a very limited number of spells at once. Like you don't get to cast more than 3 spells. You don't get 3 spell slots until you're at like fucking 9th level or something, maybe even higher. But like the advantage, the payoff, the sort of trade-off is that you only need a short rest to replenish your spell slots rather than a long rest, like say a wizard. But I'm realizing I think I was supposed to take more like offensive cantrips, to just be like pinging off like free damage at all times. But I kind of like got suckered into trying to, suckered myself really into taking a couple of like utility ones that I've ended up literally never using once because they weren't as good as I thought they were. But if I'd just taken like a couple of pew pew spells, then I think I could have been more useful. I guess I am like a little frustrated by that, but it's all just part of learning, I suppose. Like I'm frustrated by it, but it's not like ruined the campaign for me or anything. Not like, if I had just been better at the game, then I would be having fun, but I am not having fun now. No, I am having fun, but I can also tell myself that it's like, Sweetmouth is dumb. She's like, got 8 intelligence and 8 wisdom, which is below average, so she's not clever. She has very high charisma, but I guess she's got that like, a very specific kind of autism riz. But basically, I can still tell myself, well, it makes sense that she would like I took a cantrip literally just called Friends, because I'm like, oh, well, she wants to make friends, so she'd take a spell called Friends. But it like has a very narrow use case and doesn't really necessarily even help you that much in your use case, because it means you can make a character, you get like advantage on charisma checks against a creature that would otherwise be neutral. It doesn't like turn a creature that was hostile to you into your friend. And also after the spell effect wears off, they know you deceived them, so you literally like can't make friends with the spell, and I've ended up never using it because it was just never relevant. When I should have just taken like, you know, an extra deal 1d6 damage to a thing for free every turn spell. But it, you know, like it makes sense flavor-wise. The Sweetmouth would be like, oh, friends. I voiced her like Smeagol. Spell named Friends. Sweetmouth want friends. So she'd take that and then later realise, spell Friends does not make friends like Sweetmouth thought for it. And maybe she realises, oh, maybe I should focus just more on like crapping out damage in combat. And the making friends is not through my spells, but through my natural wit and charming demeanour, which isn't even a joke. She does have both of those things. Wit of a specific definition of the word wit. I think I also should have splashed out for some studded leather armor, because I'm constantly annoyed by how low her AC is. And like, as a warlock, you can't wear like plate armor and not suffer a massive penalty or something like that. But I guess I should still just be wearing the best armor I can get, even if it's only +1 to AC. 14 is a higher number than 13. 99 times out of 100. Yeah, I'm learning. I did once get to play a campaign where, like, the DM... It was actually the same DM as on this, my friend Joe. He was like, right, okay, so... he let us, if we wanted, like, have our characters be characters from a previous campaign, but, like, in the future, essentially. I can't remember if I think it was that it was like story connected to a previous campaign that we had played. So I did, like I had a human paladin called Mary, who was like a sort of rookie when I first played her, and I decided to, you know, play her again, but like with a bit more experience under her belt, and still affected by certain experiences from the previous campaign, but by and large stronger and wiser. Unfortunately, that campaign just like petered out from people. Like Joe lost interest and we lost interest and we got busy. So sadly we never got to finish it, but Mary did get to do a few cool things. She got to like she also was quite charismatic and got to like orate to a crowd to convince them to. I think it was a big battle against Vecna, who is a big figure in Dungeons and Dragons mythos. He also was quite good at specifically, like, as a paladin, at, like, beating the shit out of evil dudes, and she got to absolutely do that at least once, so that's fine. Still trying to like match the success of my most successful RPG character ever, who was Wislow, a halfling inquisitor who I played as. He was evil, and I played him as a complete bastard, and did so successfully that in the coda of that campaign, another player basically decided that like he and one other character ended up stranded on Abaddon, like the neutral evil plane. I think this was a Pathfinder campaign rather than 5e, but whatevs. And the other player was like, well, you know, no one else is around. We've kind of finished the campaign. This is just the epilogue. I tried to kill Wislow and just went super all in trying to murder him because they hated him. But then Wislow got some very good rolls, and the other player got some insanely bad rolls, to the extent that Joe, also the DM in that campaign, decided, okay, well, clearly you've, like, caught the eye of your fucking god. So, and, like, because I, like, Wislow started singing praises to Asmodeus, his god, and Joe was like, yeah, you know what, I'll just have a pit fiend come down and, like, whisk you away to hell. That was very funny. And I've never quite managed to capture that level of, like, just getting everyone else to feel about my character exactly how I wanted them to. I think maybe my mistake is that I'm trying to... Well, I mean, it's not like nobody likes my characters that I want them to like, but, it is easier for me to play a bastard. What that says about me, you are free to imagine. The problem with doing shadows as lines is that I never quite know how it's going to read. I don't quite have that skill. And, like, yes, I know I did do it as areas here, but I am changing things slightly. Get slightly different visual feedback. I've messed up here. Maybe I should see a movie. I'm off. It's even, like, good in cinemas at the moment. Troll or human. real challenge with the highlights is I'm not quite exactly sure how I would want to render them, because the way I generally do all the highlights in my hair is just like this, just a scribble. Maybe a bit more refined than this, but the problem I have here is that that's probably not like going to work in animation. Not sure exactly what to do. So, am I even happy with this? Oh fuck, a pipe bomb. If I had a stream deck and a hotkey to make a big explosion, I'd do that one. But I don't have either of those things. So you just have to imagine it. I'm definitely not in a state where I could catch the pipe bomb in midair and throw it back. Also high. The Twitch app crashed. Typical. Solid shape and cut raw. I was trying to keep it simple for myself and have the highlights be where the apex of the curve is. I'm not quite sure I'm satisfied with that, to be honest. I'm regretting this. Kind of more satisfying to me. This is a new version. Don't know if you heard me crunching on that ice there. I am an ice eater. Ice eater, the Metal Gear Solid spin-off that nobody remembers. I was going to make a joke about Ice Eater being where Snake goes to the Arctic, but in Metal Gear Solid 1 you are in fucking snowy environs anyway. like with the basic idea of sort of wave like this, that things are moving, like in this pattern, everything would be moving left to right, like the sort of peaks and troughs of the wave are moving in that direction, but it doesn't always feel like that's what I want the highlights on the hair to be doing. Regret. Honestly, I like almost never watch Twitch on mobile. It's kind of ass. And I like to chat too much. are parts of this that are actually more convincing. I think I am on a good track. Yeah, I think I actually moves very quickly from here to here, but I think that's kind of what I want. Not quite so much. That's sort of the essence of the movement, where there's a clear wave, like, coming up in the hair. Oh, a lot of it disappeared into the OBS background. Is when QD Ninja, I never quite remember how this is pronounced their name, came into the chat and said pipe bomb. They used a pipe bomb emote from another channel. I respect the energy. Simple way to do this. Hello. Bugged fill here that disappears if I do anything. When this happens. Yeah, see, like the fill here just vanishes if I use the fill tool. This is the other good thing about Flash, but sometimes it will just like have a bit of stuff that behaves weird, and there's no reason that you can other than why. Like a piece of fill that has decided, oh, if you like touch this, it like disappears or goes to another dimension or crashes your program or kills your firstborn or something. You can't do anything about it, and you'll like try to troubleshoot it. You'll like copy it into a new file or like try to edit it in some way that doesn't crash it and hope that that makes it stable or whatever. And other things that defy explanation, really. also don't, again, I've mentioned this before, but I'm probably going to be finishing this in Studio. I may end up with like a bit more of a painterly approach to some like these highlights. But maybe I shouldn't fuss about the exact way I do them, and honestly, it's so bad. It's consistent with how I draw the highlights in my hair in general. Like, I only really need to worry about the shapes when I get to like the part where it's not moving that much. Yeah, because then, like here, I need it not to jitter. boom. So cool. Love to be able to do a proper Miku voice, actually. Reminds me, I really should watch, like, the Bee and Puppycat whole series. I say that because I was reminded that because Puppycat has an Miku voice, or at least a Vocaloid voice. Don't crucify me if it's actually like Kagamine Lin or something. Len. Is Len the boy or is Rin the boy? I can't remember. I think it's Len. Really irritating to do. No, animate the like implying every contour of this volume of hair. The reason people don't usually do shit like this. Including me. Something. I don't know if like there being basically no highlight on here for like on all this part for a good part it's gonna be like really bad, but yeah. Yay. Someday I'll do a deep dive into what this microphone picks up and what it doesn't. Just annoying because the only way I can really do that is to like record for a second and then like check back the recording, because I know you can have like you can monitor your audio directly, but then like having to listen for quiet things while that is happening and like while those same sounds are being made, and it's just a bit I can't create the information, you know. Sure, it makes sense what I'm trying to say. even if it's a little bit. And that guy just did not come back. He was like, pipe bomb, Twitch app crashed. I guess it blew up his phone. Unless my chat has crashed for me. Or maybe it wouldn't. It's like almost there. Why am I doing that fucking joke? It's not fun. There's gonna be a koala bear in my hive with me, is there? Honestly, I can't quite decide if I should try to be more embarrassing or less embarrassing on stream. And I worry that the answer is actually I should be more embarrassing. I feel like in the past I was more willing to just make a fool of myself. But I've become more and more self-conscious and restrained over the weeks, and I don't know if it's done me any good. Oh, annoyingly, that feels like it's almost correct. There's no way that... It doesn't make sense, but it kind of looks good. Should maybe get up and walk around in a little bit. Man, I don't know. Turn my head in. Ah. I think this is actually kind of funny. I mean, technically, if the light is coming from the top, that will base completely in shadow, but I'm going to pretend. You can just imagine there's a fill light that hits only my face. Oh, shit. Just remembered I meant to... This is going to be annoying. I have to do the scrunchie properly. Just to stop the video. Another 100 video won't. Something how I draw that. Doing this right. You don't get to see it, but I'm bringing up my reference sheet for myself. avoided doing so for the rest because I wanted to have a big picture view, but this is more of a detail that really wants to see. use the same colour for this layer as the main layer, but I'm sure it's fine. This is kind of out of nowhere, but I've been having a little thinking lately. Well, I've been having a little thinking lately. I've been thinking lately about a little bit about the sort of divide between indie VTubers and corporate VTubers. This thought seeded by the fact that I've had that kind of conversation with a couple, like in a couple of different chats of indie VTubers who like don't really watch corporate VTubers, and I'm just thinking about like the difference in culture. Because one of the something that one person said was, I prefer watching indie VTubers because with a corporate VTuber you're gonna get it's gonna have 1,000, 10,000 people watching whatever. You can't realistically engage in chat. And that's understandable. I am the same. When I watch an indie VTuber, I don't expect a corporate VTuber. I don't expect to catch their eye in chat unless I'm exceedingly lucky. But if I'm watching an indie, I like to chat. But the thing is, I also don't really watch any of the corpo VTubers I watch live. And I guess corpo can also be a stand-in for big tier, because there are indie VTubers who have extremely high viewerships, and you would be lucky to ever be able to talk to them from chat. And the same way there are actually corporate VTubers who have small viewerships and you would be able to engage with them. But generally for the corpos I'm watching VODs, and for indies I am watching live. And I accept that there's a difference, but also I get different things out of them. I get a different experience watching Ceres Fauna of HoloLive second generation Promise to what I get out of watching Alice Sawyer or Ronya Peiko or whatever. But I don't really see other people, or at least the people I've seen talking about watching VTubers, seeking that different experience so much. And that's kind of interesting to me. Maybe it's just a matter of me being more interested in VTubers in general, but it is also odd to me that the people I have these conversations with are themselves VTubers, and it's curious to me. And this isn't to rag on anyone at all, but those people at least weren't really looking into VTuber culture outside of the sphere they exist in. And this isn't to say that, and again, this isn't to criticize anyone, it's not to say that you have to do that to be a good VTuber, be responsible or whatever. But, and I try to sort of draw a comparison with, say, another profession. If you're an animator, there's going to be say whatever worthy kids on Twitter or on YouTube, or some random Twitter animator that you like the work of. And there's also going to be Disney, Pixar, whatever, the big ones. And I would be throwing stones from a glass hive here, because I do not really go out of my way to watch the big Disney Pixar animated features, but I do keep aware of them. And sometimes it feels to me it would be a bit odd if you were an animator, a professional animator, and you just didn't keep abreast of anything that was happening at the sort of top feature film corporate end of it. I mean, I think it would be a bit odd. Maybe I'm wrong. But it feels to me like a little bit like some, at least a very, there are at least some indie VTubers who you know, kind of take that approach. And I wonder if that's like due to the nature of the profession, or because it's still relatively small and niche or whatever, or if it even means, maybe I'm like reading something I'm not from here. I do, and like, this is like the closest I will get to actually being critical, but I do occasionally feel there's like a little aspect of snobbiness where like, you're like, oh, indie VTubers are just better, like why would I ever watch a corporate one? It's like, well, because they, again, the same reason I do, because I am looking for different things from them. With a corporate VTuber, you're getting like a guarantee, like not just a certain level of polish, and you could argue actually the opposite, because like in certain terms, like the big Japanese corporations do not go for the super high level, like Iron Vertex standard of live 2D rigging. For the same reason that, say, like, yes, a Disney feature might be big budget, but Disney TV animation is not going to be maybe as lavishly produced as, you know, an independent animator's labor of love short film that they put their soul into, because, you know, they're producing things on a certain scale, and just logistically you can't put that much into each individual thing when you're producing things on a larger scale. But I guess maybe the like lamest way to put it would be that it's like you get a certain level of safety with a corporate VTuber you won't necessarily have with an indie, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're less entertaining. One thing I have pointed out in these discussions is that with an indie, like, you get that person, but you have no idea like who they're going to be affiliated with, if anyone. Like some indie VTubers just don't do collabs that and like that's not like a bad thing, but maybe you like, how to say this, when you watch an indie VTuber, a corporate VTuber who is like part of, they're gonna, typically the way it works is they're gonna be part of like a generation. They're gonna have like their gen mates. And they're going to have been vetted and put through a stringent interview process, just like the one that you're watching. And they are more likely to collaborate with those with their gen mates or with others from the same agency. And that means that, like, when you watch a corporate VTuber, you are actually, more often than not, in my opinion, getting, like, you're kind of half watching a bunch of other VTubers, like, over time. Like, obviously, if you just watch one stream and it's just them playing Minecraft or whatever and talking, then it's just them. But if you watch one member of N generation from M corporation, the other members will pop up in their chat, or they'll have a big collab, like, as a group, or they'll have like a Zatsudan where another one will show up to yap a little, and that's, for me, is actually a big part of the appeal. Because the thing is, I won't necessarily follow all the other members of the generation and watch all of their streams or VODs, but I will like to see them come up in like my Oshi's streams as a collaborator. And, you know, I have like YouTubers who like that, who I don't want to, like, maybe their energy level is wrong for me, or they play games I don't care about, whatever. That just means I won't be following them, but I still love to see them show up with the one that I like. And like, that's something that I think you are more likely to get from a VTuber who is part of a corporation than one who is just an indie by themselves. And this is also not to say that indies won't have friends they regularly collaborate with. They often will. But you don't know that going in necessarily. And of course this can also be a downside, like maybe you have your Oshi corporate VTuber, but you actually, I actually fucking hate every other member of their gen. I think it's unlikely, because like I said, they're going to have been vetted, not just for like professionalism and quality, but they will have been given time, usually, to like actually get to know each other before they even debut. So they're gonna have like good vibes and chemistry together more often than not. And also, and like not just from their, like from a deliberate, they are trying to be friends and, or at least tolerable co-workers, but you know, the agency themselves are gonna have been like, okay, well, this personality like rounds out this other one, or like doesn't clash with this one, or maybe it does clash, but in a way that could be entertaining and can still remain healthy professionally for both of them, sort of thing. And I guess that when I say safety, this is what I really mean. Like, you're not going to have a complete loose cannon. And again, maybe that's what you want. Maybe you want to watch indie VTubers in hopes that you'll find like more unhinged people. But I mean, I say unhinged, but like, have you seen some of the fucking Hollow ID girls? They are absolutely freaking mental. And for that matter, Hollow JP and EN. Like, my descriptors don't totally hold up here because, again, corporate VTubers, even like, people act like there's sometimes people think like, oh, HoloLive has, you know, they're like a strict corporate environment, but, and so their talents are going to be very restrained, but honestly, they actually, it really does seem like they are offering encouraged to like very much be themselves, and not just from a branding perspective, but even if they're never going to be able to like make a joke about Mickey Mouse without getting in trouble, or like play a game that they don't have permission from for because of how Japanese copyright law and fair use law works, they're still often going to speak pretty freely and be perfectly entertaining. I don't know, like, I don't want to say like, ooh, give the poor struggling corporate VTubers a chance, but I do feel like there's maybe a divide in the culture that doesn't entirely need to be there, and I think that maybe some people are missing out on things that they could enjoy. But maybe that's like a condescending view to take, like I'm this knowledgeable matriarch of YouTuber watching, trying to deliver my wisdom to the silly people who actually have viewers and fans in how to enjoy VTubers and VTubing. I don't know. Like maybe my perception that there can be snobbiness is like projection from my part. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm projecting my own insecurities and stuff. It's not that at all. This looks a bit janky just because I haven't. Like, I'm not in betweening this part completely, just because the drawings are so close together that I think it's actually not worth it at this stage. I might do it, I'll do it in cleanup or not, I don't know. I might try to do like when I do the cleanup in TSP, I might genuinely just not bother onion skinning and cleaning there, because honestly that's part of what's got me burnt out on my actual work, just the fact that I'm possibly being too fastidious. Like, what if I just let it boil a bit? Maybe my thought about like snobbiness is more like, okay, it's going to seem like a tangent, but I promise it's relevant. There's a comic artist called Lucy Nisley, who has done comics about food and gastronomy, because she's like a bit of a foodie. Her parents are or were foodies. Like the first comic book I bought of hers was like about her relationship with food. Like, you know, how her dad, like, enjoys eating out, and her mother enjoys cooking. Her father used to enjoy cooking, but I think since her parents divorced, and like, fell out of love with that or something. But there's a part where, like, she says that her father will, like, likes to dine out and do, like, not necessarily fine dining, but, like, you know, like, good food. And he'll spurn fast food. But, she doesn't share that view. She says she holds the view that like McDonald's may not be good food, but like it's still enjoyable, like in moderation. Which I kind of hate that term, because it's like sometimes you do just want like really salty processed trash, and it's just delicious because it has been forensically, scientifically engineered to be so. And like, there's no shame in just admitting to enjoying that once in a while, even if you consider yourself a foodie. And I think I kind of share that view. Like, am I comparing corporate VTubers to McDonald's here and indie VTubers to like pseudo fine dining at a nice restaurant, or at least like maybe, I don't know, like a nice mom and pop place that just happens to do really good borscht or whatever? I guess I am, but I think that kind of better describes my thoughts on that. Even though I would say that like the McDonald's comparison with corporate VTubers isn't completely accurate. It's more like the opposite. Like the Disney comparison is more apt in terms of vibes, but this, I think, better describes my relationship to it. And yeah, I maybe was excessive trying to add physics to the fucking spreadsheet, but it's done. Bit and deep things. I mean, the kind of vibe this is going for is like sort of standard live 2D animated illustrations that I would say a lot of VTubers use it. I think I associate it more with actually like League of Legends loading screens for some reason. I mean, for some reason, that's what it is that I'm thinking of. It's like gradual looping movement, which is maybe not what frame-by-frame hand-drawn animation is suited for in relative terms, but it's I'm doing. Vibe I wanted anyway. perfect, but I think it's serviceable. Still don't know what this thing is at the top left. Like, I'm sure I did. Like, there's a reason I drew that. Just do not remember doing it. How are we looking? There was a point where I wanted to, like, add a sway to the legs, because the idea is that I would, once all this animation's done, it would, like, the whole thing would just tween up and down very subtly as a symbol. I feel like, you know, floating in water. I was thinking I'd animate the legs swaying a little bit, complement to that, but it made me realise that that kind of, like, highlighted how other stuff wouldn't be, like, moving in relation to any general movement. I abandoned it. And I may end up not even having the whole thing move up and down. Perhaps an overall boil will help with this, but I won't know until I finish it. This coming together. Maybe the highlights meant to go like here. Yeah. Kind of tired, and I don't want to do something more for now. Sure, I'll nip it later and wrap it all up. For now, I think I'm gonna call it. I'm tired. I think it's probably just cool enough to sleep. So, yeah. As mentioned before, I'll stream Friday. Probably stream Monday. But I'll see you all then. So, good one. Be good. Stay hydrated. Bite those bed bugs back. And I'll see you later. Bye.
My best friend ran away, and when he left, it made me feel so sad.